Just one very short comment. Well, I wasn't hinting that something should be banned. Right, the opposite. I think that the Western way of censorship, that is making things irrelevant, is much more efficient than the way of formally banning something. It's really how the Soviet Union should have worked to survive, but it didn't.
What do you mean?
If there is some making things, making news or making stories or making an opinion irrelevant or marginal while not banning it is really very efficient. It's much more efficient than banning.
Well, we should have a dialogue, but just can't resist saying one other thing.
But that's a personal opinion.
No, I'm not going to write to your ambassador saying that.
We don't have an ambassador currently.
I mean, I think in a sense the market or people's taste make it relevant. I mean, people sometimes privilege one thing, especially with the internet, where people swarm around the internet all the time, and suddenly something becomes popular and other things are disregarded. But I mean, that isn't the authorities. The government doesn't do that. People's taste does that. So it's not a conscious effort. Banning censorship obviously is a conscious thing of the state. The state has to do that.
Sorry, just one word. Internet is really changing things. Not dramatically, but yes, there are changes with the internet, yes.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
We agree in the end.
So if we could just go back to influences on Orwell when he was writing Animal Farm in 1984, you mentioned that he'd spoken to Koestler, and I was immediately thinking, hey, what about Victor Serge? And then John mentioned Victor Serge, so do we know if they knew each other, if they did talk?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because Serge was also writing in the same sort of vein as Koestler.
Yes. Yeah.
Prison camps, show trials and so on.
I don't think they met, but Orwell certainly suggested translating Memoirs of Revolution, and it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Were they in the same country at the same time?
I don't think so.
And to follow on from that, I was interested because when you say that Orwell was inveighing against the impossibility of criticising the Soviet Union in 1944, but Darkness at Noon had come out in 1939 and had been an international bestseller when translated through the early 40s, and surely that had shifted things, surely that had opened doors.
I think it did not, because the Soviet Union became the ally of the West in the war. And unfortunately, the thinking went like this: we have to fight Nazis, therefore the Soviet Union is our friend. And objectively, as Orwell really ridiculed this word, objectively, people who would criticize Stalin would play into the hands, he also has it many times in inverted commas, they would play into the hands perhaps of the Nazis or of sort of destroying the strength of people fighting the Nazis. So lots of people on the left thought, okay, let's put up with it for now, we're fighting the Great War. And Orwell kept saying, well, even under these circumstances, you can't think that later on you will return to normal, decent thinking. And he uses in this article, he uses a phrase, once a whore, always a whore. I remember I had problems translating it because it's different. That's why I think in 1939 and once a whole, but in no, well, that's different. But in I think you're absolutely right that it was a success. But I think probably for the time of the war, it just was a little bit hushed up. That's my take on it. I don't know.
Well, I think you said it. It was. Yeah. I mean, it came out when actually the ally of the Soviet Union was, at least temporarily, Nazi Germany. So it was open season, I think. And then, but when Orwell was trying to get Animal Farm published, the Soviet Union was an ally, was anti-Nazi, and was an ally of UK and of the United States. So I think that was the difference, really. But of course, you're right. It was published then, and it was published to some acclaim.